So I was in the kitchen, I was cooking, I was making a schnitzel and some veggies and stuff, and I just got hit with the most random memory from my childhood. And when I was young, my family had a PC. We had a family computer. It was like a Windows 95 or 98 or something like that. Very old. And when my family first got it, it came with two games, and it came with Doom and Warcraft 2. And I remember I played a lot of Warcraft 2. That was like the first game that I had access to. That was like, not, it wasn't mine, but it was like, it was in my family. It was something I had access to. I was between like 7 to 9 in that age range. I was playing Warcraft 2, and I remember there was this mission with this dragon, huge ass dragon, like made out of metal, and he had to fight through the entire map with like legendary beings, and he just wiped through all of them. And so I really liked that dragon, and I remember my classmates, they used to like Lord of the Rings, and I used to always go around and say that my metal dragon would beat your Sauron. I was a little kid, and that was always such a like. They used to always say like, no, Sauron would beat him, and I would always be like, nah, nothing beats the metal dragon. And yeah, that was like a fun thing. That's kind of when it started. Like that's when it all began. It's like a hobby I enjoyed. A hobby and hobby. It's like a category you could say I enjoy, and that is the versus universe in fiction. That's when you take two characters and you compare them to each other, and you're like, which one would win? And it's always been interesting because it's such a it's a fun thought process and thought game kinda. And there's like a whole community around that everywhere. It's on YouTube. You have like death battles and stuff, and then you have like Comic Vine forum and stuff like that. However, there's something about that has always bothered me. Now, the way people do that is they compare books to movies, which has never made any sense to me. Like anything that has to do with reading, or like if you have a comic book or like a normal book or whatever, part of reading is using your imagination and feeling like pictures are maybe sometimes there to just filling the blanks, but it's more like the pictures aren't really telling the story. They're kind of just guiding your imagination. Like you're reading the story and you're perceiving what's going on in your head. So if you take 10 people and all 10 people read one book, and then if they all sat down and were to like describe the events, most of them would come up with like maybe somewhat similar, but there would be some of them would come up with completely different ideas than the other participants did. You know, everyone would have kind of their own view of it. That's kind of part of media, is filling in the blanks with your imagination. Now, that's kind of different to when you watch a movie or a show. If you watch a movie, if you have 10 people and 10 people watch the movie, they might have maybe different interpretations of things happening in the story, but there's no real question about the things happening in it. Like if a character in a movie shoots another character, you'd be like, yeah, he shot that character, and that's how he looked like, he used that gun. You have it exactly how it happened. Now, that's where the conflict comes in, because you have people trying to compare things you have cut and clear on video to things someone read. And that doesn't really compute. And it's like, not just, that's just one example of it, but then people have like weird feats. Like you have people know the guy from the Doom game, Doom Guy, I think he's called. Now in the story and lore and all that, like in the game, he apparently kills some kind of demon god or something like that. But then when you actually then in the fight, like in the actual fight and the cutscene and all that, he kind of just walks up and stabs him. like there doesn't really, it's not, you could take Doom Guy out and put in literally any other character. You could put in like Wolverine, and then he would have the same feat. And people say like Doom Guy would beat someone like Omni-Man from Invincible. And you think about it, people be like, why would he do that? Well, because he killed a god in his universe and Omni-Man didn't. People be, but that makes no sense, because when you see what actually happened in the game, like literally anyone else could have done that. So people comparing books to movies and using titles and like comparing someone's feats to what they visually are able to do doesn't really work, which is why I believe that you should always separate it completely. You can compare books to other books, and you should compare movies to movies. And when you make a claim that this character is better than the other, the most credible claim should always win. So if you compare a character like Sun Wukong, which is like this mythical being from, I think it's called something from the Travel to the East or something like that. I don't really remember, but you have this character Wukong, who is perceived to do all these cool, amazing things, but who's to say that those things are as incredible as people say they are? They can maybe just be like street level. We don't really know. It's kind of up to interpretation on how we see it. There's always some things that are concrete in a story, but then how you interpret it, who knows? But when people say take that character and compare it to, again, let's use Omni-Man, because it's such an easy example to take, like Omni-Man, where you can see exactly what he's capable to do. Like, to me, video evidence beats book evidence, or like lore, or anything that comes to where you use your imagination. And I've seen the most dumbest comparisons to that ever. Like people saying like Doomguy beats Omni-Man, like, and people saying that like Sun Wukong can beat someone like Azura, and even the most famous out of them all is actually Goku versus Superman, and that is the most hilarious one, because they're literally comparing video to book. And people always do that. There's videos and movies of Superman too. However, it doesn't really map onto reality to the books, because in the movies and videos of Superman, he's never really doing anything amazing. He always gets tossed around. He's struggling with bank robbers, things with like silly robots and stuff. While in the books, he apparently does more incredible things. Meanwhile, we have Goku on video doing all the amazing things like that he does, and it's very cut and clear. Like you can just see it happen. So yeah, it's just a fun little. It's like a little. It's like a very nerdy, silly hobby enjoyment I have comparing characters. And that argument or way of thinking has always bugged me. So it's just like, it's something I just felt like talking about. I understand people might not find this very interesting or whatever, but to me it's like a logical inconsistency, and I see that a lot. Like in today's day and age, there is a lot of logical inconsistencies going around, and it's just something entering the hobby that I enjoy. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about the topic and this type of video, and check the video description if you enjoy my content, and I will see you all in the next one. Or you can leave me suggestions on what you would like me to do for content also. See you next time. Bye bye.